Austin stealing Prince Nana's gimmick because he swerves when he drives. It's Wrestling Observer Live. We're live 7 days a week, Monday through Friday. That's 3 p.m. Eastern, noon Pacific. Sundays, 6 p.m. Eastern, 3 Pacific. And Saturdays, 1 p.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Pacific. It's Jim Valley.
Oh, that's the most exciting type of valley.
The effing king of recovery.
I don't want to toot my own horn, but toot.
Back because of the fans.
Each and every one of you.
The largest collection of STD having trailer park trash The Rock has ever seen.
You all fat, neck-bearded, mouth-breathing trolls.
They don't have adrenaline in their soul. All you do is be hurtful. All you are is abusive. And all you've ever done is bully me into being your damn puppet and expected me to do it with a smile on my face.
Friday night on Smackdown, John Cena's new gimmick. The dad who leaves for cigarettes and never comes back. Also, a TLC match that should have been on WrestleMania. These guys got screwed. Naomi threw punches like that should have been on day one of wrestling school. And Zelina Vega upsets Chelsea Green for the U.S. title. Plus, I got to talk about it. WrestleMania 41, everything that frustrates me about the WWE formula. And yes, Joe Hendry looked like a fool at WrestleMania, but it may benefit him in the long run. And don't forget, AEW Collision Playoff Palooza tonight at a special time, right after the NBA Western Conference Playoff. We'll run down that. We'll run down New Japan and link to some WWE, not like Bugs Bunny, not that left turn at Albuquerque. Seems like they took that right turn in Las Vegas. Talk about that and more. Jim Valley, Wrestling Observer Live. All right. There it is. All right. All right. Oh my goodness. Oh Lord. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Oh, how's everybody doing? Happy Saturday. Oh, yes. All right. Oh, I'm tired today. I may take some questions. So I'll let you know. We'll see what we're going to do today. I don't know. I just don't know. All right. Oh, goodness. Mel, it's good to see you. What am I doing? All right, hang on. Oh, yeah. Shit. Okay, hang on a second. Damn it. All right. Okay. All right. I wish I was taking a Saturday nap. Alrighty. Oh, yeah.
right, here we go.
Thank you.
Check out Behind the Barrier.
You're listening to Wrestling Observer Live on the Sports Byline Broadcasting Network.
Jim Valley, Wrestling Observer Live. As I mentioned, Collision tonight. It's going to start right after the NBA Western Conference playoff coverage wraps up on TNT and Max. Good show tonight. FTR takes on Paragon, Roderick Strong, and Kyle O'Reilly. AW Women's World Championship match. Toni Storm versus Queen Aminata. Bandito versus Dralistico for the ROH World Championship. Top Flight versus Crew. Is it Crew or is it The Crew? I know The Crew from, high school. Crew in a tornado tag team match. Swerve Strickland versus Blake Christian, which should be great. AR Fox versus Roosh. Anna Jay in action. And a Max Caster Best Wrestler Alive Open Challenge. There are new IWGP Tag Team Champions. Callum Newman and Great Khan defeated Hiroki Goto and Yoshihashi in the main event of New Japan Wrestling Red Zone in Hiroshima overnight. And with the win, they captured the titles that have been vacated by Newman and Jeff Cobb due to Cobb's departure and apparently imminent arrival in WWE. TJP had some interesting comments on his social media. And I assume they're shoot comments saying that Jeff Cobb, who had guaranteed money from New Japan, was making it difficult for other members of the United Empire. Said he was trying to create his own angle about confusion as to who's the leader of United Empire after Ospreay left. TJP claims that it cost them merchandise money as sales dropped not after Ospreay left, but after Cobb started going into business for himself and confusing fans. TJP also claimed that Cobb would turn down things from the office and also tours. And TJP said those antics led to members of United Empire getting left on tours. And that would cost TJP money because he's on a per night deal. So he doesn't work, doesn't get paid. He talked about how, his wife had to, scrape to feed the two kids at home and had to put water in the milk to extend it as best they can is just one example of how they're making ends meet. And he said he ended up as the captain of United Empire because nobody else wanted it. He said everybody wanted Great Khan to be the leader, but Khan turned it down, saying that he didn't think he was up to it. Now, let's assume all this is true. Maybe it is. Maybe it's not. And even if it's not true, I'm still noticing a pattern. Do you see the pattern? We know that Alistair / Malachi Black refused to lose a lot of the time in AEW. Miro, Rusev also reportedly turned down creative and refused to lose to people. Same with Andrade. Same with Ricky Saints. Now, a lot of people blame AEW. It's a mess. Tony's not a good boss or booker or blah, blah, blah. And now, if TJP is telling the truth, there's another story of someone refusing to do business with New Japan. Could even make a case for the Lucha Brothers. Definitely with Phoenix complaining about how he was a prisoner, trying to get heat on The Office. It's kind of weird, isn't it? All these guys do this, and then where do they turn up? In WWE. Maybe it's just a coincidence. I don't know. Maybe I'm just talking about unsolved mysteries of wrestling, but it's odd, isn't it? It's very odd. That's all I'm going to say. It's just odd. There's this weird pattern. All right, John Cena, who, as you know, is so hated by the fans. Hates you, fans. He appeared on the NFL draft on Friday on video as part of an announcement for the Green Bay Packers, even though he's from Massachusetts. Seth Rollins also appeared for the Chicago Bears, which makes more sense since he's from Iowa. A lot of people in Iowa, their home team is the Chicago Bears. Smackdown last night. Hate the 3 hours, but at least some things happened. John Cena comes out. As you know, he hates the fans. You've been mean to him for 20 years. So Randy comes out. Randy Orton. What happened to you, John? You've changed. You know something, John? You should have some kids. Being a father would change you. John's like, you know why I don't have kids? Because for 20 years, I've had to put up with all these kids. The kids you wouldn't take care of. Talking about the fans. And then he claims some 6-year-old kid just flipped him the bird in the audience. Talked about how awful the kids are. Hated all of it. So, John punched Randy. Randy hit the RKO. And left John laying in the ring. That's your main event for Backlash. Fraxium is now on SmackDown. They defeated Los Garza. Los Garza did a great job pulling a great match and, really selling Fraxium. They were very fast, did a lot of dives, a lot of tag team maneuvers. They really did their best to give Fraxium a hell of a start on SmackDown. Crowd chanted, "This is awesome." I'm sure the crowd forgot, oh yeah, this is a tag team match, so it doesn't matter. But they defeated Los Garza with the Spanish Fly from Axiom, Phoenix Splash from Frazier on Angel to win. Tiffany Stratton came out, got a promo. She was interrupted by Jade, which led to a match. There were some rough spots in this match and some non-rough spots in this match. But, Jade looked pretty good at WrestleMania, which leads me to believe that match was very practiced with Naomi. But the match ended in a no contest when Naomi ran to the ring and did the weakest ground and pound you have ever seen. Look, I know that Naomi did the black light entrance, but now she's stealing Jeff Hardy's dance moves too. It's gimmick infringement. It was so bad. Whew. Yeah, it's bad when WWE camera work, which hides everything, couldn't hide it. They'd need a camera up in the ceiling to be able to hide that. It was not good. So then Nia Jax appeared, took everyone out, gave her the leg drop, then the Yokozuna butt drop. Held up the title. So it would seem that she is Tiffany's opponent for Backlash. That's the best thing Vince McMahon ever did. I can't say it any other way. They haven't said that for 20 years, but I always say it as Backlash. It's the only thing that my voice sounds good saying. In the ring, Solo Sikoa took credit for Jacob Fatu's U.S. title win. Jacob Fatu did not look happy about that. LA Knight comes out. He wants his title back. Drew McIntyre comes out. He goes back and forth with LA Knight making jokes. He wants the U.S. title, which, I gotta be honest, seems a little below Drew McIntyre. Anyway, Drew and LA go back and forth till Nick Aldis comes out, makes a match. McIntyre versus Knight for the number one contendership for the U.S. title. And it's somewhat of a surprise. Zelina Vega is your new U.S. champion. We'll talk about that, the return of Malachi Black, and more. Stand by. Jim Valley, Wrestling Observer Live. Hey, Matt Gill, I don't know anything. I haven't heard anything about that, about an actual altercation between Logan Paul and Punk. I would be, I don't know. I would be, with Logan Paul, I'm suspicious of everything, but that doesn't mean it's not true. That's a funny one. All right, that's a funny one. Damn it. Shufflebox. Why didn't I think of that line? Damn it. That's a great line. That's hilarious. They implied Cena was impotent. I didn't know that. I must have missed that part. On a kid show? Really? Wow. Okay. Weird. All right. Yeah, that's odd. It's odd. Very odd.
All right, here we go. About 7 seconds.
Thank you.
0039. That's 800-949-0039.
You're listening to Wrestling Observer Live on the Sports Byline Broadcasting Network.
Jim Valley, Wrestling Observer Live. Smackdown last night. I didn't see it coming, but Zelina Vega defeated Chelsea Green to win the Women's United States Championship with the Code Red, which is now a flipping sunset flip. I'm very excited. The next few years when the Code Red turns into a completely different maneuver. Swear to God, in my lifetime, the Code Red has been at least three things. Backstage, The Miz, dressed in white, which was definitely a signal, definitely a tease, gave Carmelo Hayes something special for winning the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. A big gold chain with a giant medallion of Andre's face. Now look, with the acromegalia, Andre the Giant, not a classically handsome man, but as a piece of jewelry, it looked like the gold head that Indiana Jones tries to steal, but instead triggers the giant boulder. That was so hideous. That is one of the worst things I've ever seen. My God, it was about the size of Cody's skull mask. Jeez, that thing was so bad. Anyway, so I guess lucky Carmelo, he gets to carry that around and wear it. Hayes also then called himself the 10th wonder of the world. Obviously, Andre was the 8th wonder of the world. And then China was the 9th, so now Hayes is the 10th. Anyway, so Miz again in his white suit, hint hint, said he was going to the ring for his moment. So Miz in the ring, doing one of his classic Miz promos we haven't seen in a while. He runs down the crowd. He's been here for 20 years. He's awesome. He's the must-see WWE superstar. All of his classic lines we've seen before. And he's mad he wasn't a replacement for the IC title match or the Randy Orton match. And the whole time, the audience must have seen the crew setting up the entrance for Aleister Black because nobody is looking at Miz. Everybody is looking at the entrance. I mean, everybody. So, lights go out. It's Aleister Black's old entrance with his old music, which is great. No need to mess with that. Anyway, gives Miz the black mass, sits cross-legged in the ring, and there you go. Drew McIntyre defeated LA Knight by disqualification. Solo Sikoa outside the ring gave the Samoan spike to Knight, rolls him back in. Drew was going to go for the Claymore. He was in the corner. Damian Priest grabbed his leg. Brawled outside the ring with Priest getting the better of this exchange. So, I guess Drew McIntyre, is he the number one contender now? I don't know. And then the main event, a tremendous match, especially for television. I mean, wow. Street Profits won a TLC match over the Motor City Machine Guns and DIY. And seriously, with 6 people as creative and athletic and well-rounded as the Profits, the Guns, and DIY, you knew it was going to be great. Montez Ford. And it's sad I recognize this. He was dressed like Shawn Michaels at the 1997 Royal Rumble. Black cowboy hat and HBK tribute gear. It's sad, I know that, but he looked great. Looked absolutely great. They did a ton of great spots. You know, they should have called it a TLCP match because some fan in the front row loaned Ford his prosthetic leg to hit Gargano in the back. Dawkins recreated the Edge spear off the ladder, hitting Sabin, who was dangling, and landed both of them through tables. There were chair shots, table spots, and Montez Ford, I think, kind of was the star. They did a few dives, including a dive out of the ring, hitting a blockbuster on Ciampa. And Ford then won by climbing up the side of the ladder because Shelley and Gargano were standing at the top fighting. Ford knocks them off, claims the title. And, this match would have added so much to WrestleMania. I mean, it's everything you want in a TLC match. And look, I'm sure a lot of people will remember it. But, of course, it would be more remembered if it had that WrestleMania platform. But unfortunately, that's just the way it works. So WrestleMania. Let me talk about this real quick. Joe Hendry. Obviously, a lot of people talking about the TNA World Champion. In the words of Brian Alvarez, looked like a geek out there losing to Randy Orton in 3 minutes. Now, that is one way to look at it. And I understand that. But Joe Hendry's kind of a meme wrestler. And I don't know that his heat necessarily always comes from winning and losing. But, according to Joe Hendry, in an interview, was it with Harry Helwani, I believe, talked about how Randy Orton congratulated him and was impressed. John Cena gave him props. Triple H talked about how it won't be Joe Hendry's last WrestleMania. And look, we don't know that. Maybe it will. Maybe it won't. But when the biggest wrestling company in the world calls, and your contract with your current company is coming up within the next, year or so, months, I'm not sure. But either way, when your contract, the end of your contract is in sight. Look, you make your new bosses happy. And that's what you need. I mean, and look, for better, for worse, maybe they were right, maybe they were wrong. But both Randy Orton and John Cena have been career killers in their day. And if both of them were impressed, especially after being in the ring with Randy Orton, that's what you want. Joe Hendry showed he's willing to do business, and he can keep a secret because it didn't get out that Joe Hendry was going to be Randy Orton's opponent. Randy Orton handpicked Joe Hendry, and Randy Orton was pleased with Joe Hendry. John Cena was impressed. Triple H was happy. And those are the people you need to win over. And I'm curious if Joe Hendry does go to WWE, when he was on the indies, and you can get away with it, he would use licensed music for his parody songs. And obviously, if he was in AEW, I think Tony Khan probably would license some parody songs. And I wonder if Triple H is going to do that. But, oh, by the way, I'm whispering because they don't have a choice. This is the way I sound. And I think it sounds a little better if I'm lower down here than if I'm up here. That's just my opinion. If you like it this way, I can do this way. But I feel like it's better if I'm a little quieter like this. But anyway, so I think Joe Hendry may have upset some of his fans. But I think in the big picture, I think he pleased the right people. But WrestleMania, it just frustrates me. They open up with a hot match because you got to open hot. Oh, then you got to have the bring down match. And then it's like, it has this formula where they bring you up and bring you down. And I hate it because I don't want to be unnaturally brought down. If I'm up here, I want to stay up here a little longer. And I like shows that build like that. When I was a kid, that's what happened. You would build. You get an opener, then you'd build and build and build, and boom, you get the crescendo. But when you have the down matches, I feel like it's harder to get back up to that crescendo. And it's just, the formula drives me crazy. It's like, WWE's got a tremendous roster of talent. And it's like, I think I tweeted it out, or I put it out on Blue Sky. Let these stallions run. It's WrestleMania. Let them do more than they're allowed to do. And it's just so frustrating that they can't do a better job with that formatting. It's like, I don't know. But again, WWE fans have been conditioned that it's a good thing. They've been conditioned that 4 matches is a good show. They've been conditioned that intentionally doing as little as possible is a great match, as opposed to something creative that they haven't seen before. Just frustrating. Also, what is going on with WWE? We got to talk about that roast and more. Stand by, Jim Valley, Wrestling Observer Live.
You're clear.
Attention, fellow conservative investors. What does the name Reagan mean to you? It stands for being the ultimate conservative. It also stands for the Reagan Gold Group. Do you see storm clouds approaching? The stock market hates uncertainty, and there are plenty of reasons to be concerned. High inflation, unstable debt, and economic uncertainty are just a few. You have car insurance, homeowners insurance, and life insurance. But do you have insurance for your retirement savings and your 401k? We urge all fellow conservative investors to learn about the one asset that could help ensure your nest egg doesn't crack under economic pressure. GOLD, gold. Call the one name any conservative investor needs to know about. Reagan Gold Group.
800-360-1917. 800-360-1917. 800-360-1917. That's 800-360-1917.
If you've got a property that you've been trying to sell and you've tried almost everything, I want to tell you about something that you haven't tried yet. You're going to think this offer is too good to be true, but it's not. Thousands of customers have sold their homes in any condition with Need to Sell My Home. This is a real opportunity from a highly rated company that buys homes all over the country. Did you know it's possible to sell your home right over the phone with no real estate commissions and no pesky open houses? Plus, every offer is a cash offer with no mortgage holdups. To find out how much you can sell your home or property for, call now. Take 5 minutes of your time and call for this 100% free quote to sell your home.
800-430-0674. 800-430-0674. 800-430-0674. That's 800-430-0674.
1 out of 2 Americans thinks their life is worthy of a book. Here's another startling stat. You may be one of the 15% of people who bothered to start your book, and one of the 6% that got halfway through it, but your gem of an idea likely died. Or did it? Some published authors are making significant money, so join the ranks of the successful people that finish their books with help from Dorrance Publishing. Call right now, and our experienced editors and writers will explain to you what it's going to take to get your book completely written, published, and then taken to market to sell it. It's a free consultation, so call right now. Find out how much time and money it takes to finally get that book idea of yours published. Make your dreams happen. Call Dorrance Publishing right now.
800-485-6003. 800-485-6003. 800-485-6003. That's 800-485-6003.
You are listening to Wrestling Observer Live on the Sports Byline Broadcasting Network.
Jim Valley, Wrestling Observer Live. What's going on with WWE? What is the deal? Look, I get there are many people in WWE and wrestling in general who are politically conservative. Fine, whatever. But look, until recently, WWE was pretty good at being non-political. I mean, sure, Triple H and Stephanie were at Linda McMahon's confirmation hearing. You could justify that by saying, hey, they were just supporting family. But WrestleMania 41 and events and interviews surrounding it felt like WWE's testing the waters. Trump supporting interviews, Vince supporting speeches. People will always, they love Vince. Put your cell phones in the air. We will always love Vince. You know, they did Trump supporting interviews and had a number of known right-wing people, including UFC fighters, along with Dana White, who got booed, and hiring Tony Hinchcliffe to host the roast of WrestleMania. You know, the roast that never happened. Tony Hinchcliffe has a very popular podcast, Kill Tony, which pretty much is the usual right-wing bro talk that's in right now. Again, whatever. Listen to what you want. But he's probably most famous or infamous for making the joke at the Trump rally at Madison Square Garden, where he joked that Puerto Rico was an island of garbage. Now look, as I mentioned, when I grew up, I was kind of the Gen X latchkey kid. I wasn't supervised a lot. And when I grew up, it was the comedy boom, the comedy club boom. So I watched a lot of comedy. So look, I've seen all the jokes. I'm very hard to make laugh because I see all the jokes. And I was more offended by how bad the joke was. More than the content. I mean, seriously, Tony Hinchcliffe is the hackiest successful comedian right now. And for some reason, there are a lot of them. You just make obvious jokes. Say you're against being woke and suddenly, boom, you've got a career. And surprise, this roast of WrestleMania, which they took people's phones. They took down any audio. They took down everything. Surprise, though, the roast of WrestleMania sucked. What is it about wrestling roasts where they always suck? Hell, I did my own roast of Ric Flair, and I had better jokes, and I'm one frickin' person. Anyway, the roast of WrestleMania sucked because, they had hilarious jokes. I mean, look, I love roasts. They're my favorite shows. People who know each other and they like each other or love each other. And they're out there ripping on each other. And everyone knows the rules. That you take the shots, it's meant in jest, it's just for fun, and you shouldn't get too hurt. Sometimes hurt feelings happen. But and I'm fine with that, okay? But these jokes, they made them about people who aren't in the company, who weren't there, and just the most basic, stupid jokes. Hilarious jokes about, like, Jinder Mahal being an ISIS, having a midlife ISIS. A guy who's Canadian, by the way, and very well liked from what I know. A wrestler from 5 years ago, and a joke, ISIS, from 15 years ago. Shinsuke Nakamura eating dogs, and Gunther celebrating Hitler, even though he's not German. Yes, Hitler was Austrian too, but still. Paul Heyman saying Shayna Baszler has a penis. Hilarious. And making a joke about Freddie Prinze Jr.'s father. I mean, people barely remember Freddie Prinze Jr., let alone his father, who was a comedian in the early 70s who committed suicide. Do people even remember that? And of course, people are going off on Charlotte Flair and just saying that she had surgeries. Is that a joke? Look, here's how you do a joke. You going to do about Charlotte Flair? You know, a lot of people think that her dad is Charlotte's biggest influence and the record she wants to break, but actually, her biggest influence and the record she wants to break was Mankind. You know, the three faces of Foley. Shinsuke Nakamura, he's so versatile. In WWE alone, he's been the artist, the Dark Samurai, and of course, his latest gimmick, the Invisible Man. You know, after WrestleMania 41, WWE can make a new Stone Cold t-shirt. Austin DUI says, I just ran over your ass. What's he doing out there stealing the Usos gimmick? And did you see Nick Khan out at ringside checking on that poor woman? You know, when the president of WWE is out there, it's bad. You know, if I was her, after I got hit, there'd be a green shirt lady ringside at all the WWE shows going forward. And I'd have my own entrance. That's right. Gotta mention, someone in the chat goes, gotta mention Nakamura stealing Cena's gimmick, the Invisible Man, yes, because we can't see him. Oh my God, I can't say that joke, John. That is a brilliant joke, though. A brilliant joke. All right, anyway. Did you see Nick Khan at ringside? Oh, I did that joke. Anyway. And why no jokes about Linda or Vince McMahon? You know, Linda McMahon in her 70s getting plastic surgery. Sort of like putting a spoiler on a Model T. The only thing tighter than Linda's face are the offers WWE made to Stephanie McGurr and Jordan Grace. DDP took a picture with Linda at the Hall of Fame, then quickly deleted it from his Instagram after fans gave him a lot of criticism. DDP has done a lot of good work, but I think his biggest challenge would be rehabbing Linda's face. What is she thinking? A 70-something old woman getting plastic surgery. And have you seen her? She's got bigger cheeks than Rikishi. Does she think she looks younger now? I mean, we already know she's a senior citizen. What does she think? Vince is going to see her, think to himself, yeah, I'd like to crap on that head. But no. Look, wrestlers have a very juvenile sense of humor. They pull ribs, they tell stories. But I mean, why with Paul Heyman and with all these people, it feels like with this right-wing turn, they're testing the waters. It feels like they're testing the waters to do more like UFC does. And look, I'm sure there are wrestling fans who are politically conservative, and that's fine, okay? I have no problem with conservatives. I have a problem with what Trump is doing. I want to make that clear, but it feels like they're testing the waters. And they're doing interviews for a certain audience. Maybe an audience of one. Like a lot of people do. If Linda McMahon got her facelift, the Mar-a-Lago face, for an audience of one, if you understand what I'm saying. And look, WWE feels bulletproof. They've survived Vince. They're surviving Linda. Enter.
A1.
They're surviving everything. So why not dip your toe in the water and see how far they're going to go? I don't know what the political makeup, speaking of Linda, of wrestling fans is. But every survey that I've ever seen says that wrestling fans tend to lean more left. Are those surveys true? I don't know. But there's a lot of surveys out there that say that. I don't know. But so much of sports is that bro culture. And again, not my thing, but that's fine. Whatever you want to do. It just feels like they're going to try to lean into it to fit in with, all of the other sports programming. That's that bro culture. And I don't know. I don't know if it's going to turn off fans or not. I know fans weren't happy with WrestleMania 41. A lot of fans complained. A lot of average, non-newsletter reading fans. None of them. But, no, I'd say it can be. It can be problematic. Anyway, all right, stand by. I just wonder, will there be a tipping point for fans? Where fans go, it's too much. I'm out. Maybe they will. Maybe they never will. Stand by, Jim Valley. Wrestling Observer Live.
Listen up, guys. Are you experiencing any of the following?
Shufflebox, that's a great line. Yeah.
Why? 30 million men in the U.S. today dealing with ED. But did you know you don't have to pay hundreds for a prescription anymore? And you don't have to deal with the hassle of seeing the doctor or the embarrassment of going to the pharmacy for a certain pill. Now, with one free call, you can find out how Herbal Virility Max can help you feel like a man again. For over a decade, Herbal Virility Max has helped guys just like you put a smile back on their face with improved performance and drive.
Does John Cena need this?
And ask about our buy one, get one free offer.
800-773-5112. 800-773-5112. 800-773-5112. That's 800-773-5112.
This is a true, sad story for ADT, the leader in home security systems. My favorite dog, Oliver, was stolen from our garage recently. If I had a camera system installed in my home from ADT, I would have known exactly what car possibly pulled up in my driveway and stole my little friend. If I had a security system from ADT, my dog would still be here. I called ADT this weekend, and they're coming out in a few days to install a camera and a new security system. Unfortunately, it's a little too late for me. Listen, protect everyone you love in your family. Call ADT now. Have them come out and give you a quote to install a full security system in your home. Don't let it be too late for you. Call right now.
Paid for by the Home Security Hotline. 800-361-3491. 800-361-3491. 800-361-3491. That's 800-361-3491.
Do you have Medicare and do you use a CPAP machine? This is a national healthcare alert regarding your CPAP supplies. Using a clean CPAP mask and clean supplies is important to staying healthy. The best way to make sure your CPAP equipment is clean is to get new supplies. If you have Medicare, we have great news. Medicare will pay for you to have new clean supplies every 90 days. We'll even do all the paperwork for you to make sure that there's little to no out-of-pocket cost to you. And you don't even have to leave your home. We provide free in-home delivery. So if you're a CPAP user and you have Medicare, staying healthy with new CPAP equipment is easy. Just make this free phone call right now to get started.
Sponsored by Specialty Medical. 800-913-9739. 800-913-9739. 800-913-9739. That's 800-913-9739.
You are listening to Wrestling Observer Live on the Sports Byline Broadcasting Network.
It's Jim Valley, Wrestling Observer Live. Shufflebox in the chat says, I trust that dais, the roast of WrestleMania, with comedy as much as I trust going alone into an office with Vince and Johnny Ace. Don't forget, no means yes. Yeah, no. Why? I mean, I know why, Tony and Hinchcliffe. Because again, it's an audience of one. And he was at the Trump thing at Madison Square Garden. But why not get Jeff Ross? Nikki Glaser would probably be pretty expensive. Why not get Jeff Ross or Anthony Jeselnik or Natasha Leggero? Or, there's so many good roast comedians that you can get that do this thing that are, funny. But I don't know. It's just, it is what it is. But I just, like I said, I just don't know if it's gonna work. 'Cause like Billy N says in the chat, the problem is WWE is such a huge name in the system. People will just blindly follow it if they think wrestling. And that's true. Maybe WWE is just, it is too big to fail. And I heard people complaining about prices. And you gotta wonder, will the prices play a role? Will this change, maybe, if it's actually a change in philosophy? Will that change? I don't know. Yeah, someone says, get Bill Burr and Ron Funches if you want wrestling-friendly comedy. That's right. There are a lot of wrestling comedians who are wrestling fans. Get those guys. Instead of making jokes about guys who aren't there and aren't on the roster. I don't know. Wrestling and roasts. Never a good combination. All right. Well, I think today's show was
A1.
And I will see you next week. It's Jim Valley. Wrestling Observer Live. Back because of the fans.
I bust a left and I'm heading to the next block. The block was dead, yo, so I continue to
A1.
Beachfront Avenue. Girls were hot, wearing less than bikinis. Rock men lovers.
You are clear. I will talk to you next week.
I'm in. See you.
All right.
Bye. All right. Well, there we go. All right. That was fun. All righty. What are we doing? Anything else? Yeah, I haven't heard anything about it. Let me see. Hang on. Let me look it up. I don't know. Sometimes I miss things. Hang on. Yeah. Let me take a look here. No, I'm not sure. I'm not aware of I don't know. I can't find anything about Punk and Logan Paul, so I don't know. I don't know anything. The what? Above my head. Hang on. Where? Hang on. Oh, right. Oh, yes. It's Giant Baba. See Baba there. Oops, there we go. There he is. That was how he'd often sign his name, sign his autograph. This is not a real one. This is a reprint. But someone gave this to me. So it's a Baba autograph. It's not a real one, but a Baba autograph. So there's the size of this. Look at this. Yeah, look at it. So that's a giant Baba handprint. So there you go. There you go. Good question. Oh. Oh, I forgot to mention. WWE asking AAA wrestlers to learn English and wrestle a more American style, which is just what Lucha Libre fans want. And CMLL, now in their logo, put 100% Mexican, 100% Mexicano on their logo, which is brilliant. Yeah, I mean, so someone who doesn't know, say, oh, WWE bought the oldest and biggest Lucha Libre brand. I'm like, what? It's like, there's someone who doesn't know anything. That's the thing is, oh my God, I don't know. There's so many people who claim to be experts who don't know anything. But yeah, no kidding, lose the masks, guys. More rest holds. And I think it's funny. Worlds Collide. A legendary show. A legendary show. And its namesake is taking place at 11 a.m. on a Saturday afternoon. It's just... I mean, the only thing look, how much money is in Mexico for wrestling fans? Ticket prices are lower. And, yeah, no kidding, Lucha's cool now there. Yes, they've been doing it wrong for 100 years. Yes. Oh my gosh. I don't know. I'm not saying Bushiroad would sell, but I do know that, wrestling is not Bushiroad's main or even bigger revenue stream. And, I just don't know. I mean, if it becomes a pain in the ass for them, I don't know. You gotta wonder. Hang on a second. Dude. Shufflebox, they should have had you at the roast of WrestleMania. It's missing Lucha Libre HLA. Yes. Last week, because I do the show fairly early, I had to fast forward through a lot of Triple H's speech. But going back and be able to watch it, I don't blame Booker T at all. But it was very telling that he thanked all of his rivals, all of these people, and perhaps his greatest rival, he didn't thank. Didn't mention Dwayne. I thought that was interesting. And not by accident. Yeah. I thought that was very telling. Very, very telling. And when Rock says, oh, they needed me at Elimination Chamber because tickets weren't selling well. What does that say? Oops. But I don't know. There's something going on. I couldn't say what it is, but there's something going on. And look, I had people tell me, oh, they never advertised him. But fans have been educated for years to expect that. And it was dumb. Vikingo, gosh, Vikingo is a very small man. He's not very big. And I don't know. I mean, the Spanish announce too, you're right. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I don't see the point of what they're going to do. I mean, unless they're fine with this acquisition not making a great deal of money. But I mean, they can if they're going to get in there and try to hire away CMLL guys, well, they can do that right now. I just don't. I mean, there's not a ton of like big buildings. They've already paid, I don't know, whatever for AAA. Are they going to dump money into it to give it that WWE presentation? What are they going? I mean, and can you do that WWE presentation in a bull ring? Can you? I'd love to see WWE do what they do in a bull ring. And look, I'm not ripping on it because it's fun to go out and see it. Going to Arena Mexico, one of the coolest things I ever did. So I'm not ripping on a bull ring. I'm just saying that is there infrastructure to give AAA that WWE polish as far as presentation goes? I don't know. And also, is it worth the investment? TKO likes to make money. TKO does everything for the shareholders. And how much money are they going to dump into this hole? I just don't see, I just don't see it. And I mean, yeah, they've got some talent. For sure, they've got some talent. But it's just, I don't know. I mean, the problem is you can't do, well, I mean, you could do a WWE invasion angle, except for the fact that Conan has done like 10 of them himself. That's Conan's big move. Every time is a WWE invasion angle. Every time. And then there's Vampiro's limping all over the place. And all these guys are either, broken down or young. And it's just, yeah. I don't know what you do with Vikingo. I don't know. Put him on speed. No, I mean, the show. I just don't know. I don't know. I mean, at WrestleMania, NXT didn't draw a huge crowd. I mean, look, I don't know that many people did draw a huge crowd. Few did. Anyway, NXT versus AAA. That's a good question. Is he still in AAA? Where is he? Let's see, where is he right now? Where is he? Because he's not in. Is he in AAA? I think he is. No, hang on. Is he in Noah still? Okay, he's turning. Okay, I don't know where he is. He's not in Noah. He did leave Noah. It's hard to keep track of these people. Yeah, I mean, can't go wrong with Elliot to Dr. Wagner. But anyway, I'm not saying it can't be done. But Japan's going to be harder. Japan is going to be harder. So, to break through, I mean, they've tried to keep WWE out for years. So, I don't know. But with Muda, who knows? Who knows? So, it's just, I don't know. Yeah, you're right. Yeah. Well, and Tony loved Ring of Honor, and it's like, people go, oh, Tony bought Ring of Honor, and da-da-da-da-da, and like, Ring of Honor was dead, literally dead. You know, you either get this Ring of Honor or no Ring of Honor. So, I don't know. Yeah, I mean, why? They did jokes about, I don't know, stupid. Anyway. So, yeah. I mean, Ring of Honor's, fine. I mean, like wrestling, you can watch Ring of Honor. They don't do a lot of angles, but a lot of Ring of Honor wasn't angles. A lot of Ring of Honor was just wanting to beat somebody. All right, man. Thanks, John. Appreciate it. Talk to you. Yeah. Right. Right. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. But it is what it is. I don't know. Was I going to say anything else? I don't think I have anything else. All right, kids. Maybe I'll cut this one short unless you guys got anything. I'll give you a shout. You want to chat about anything? All right, see you. Oh, wait, you're not leaving Crash. I do appreciate you guys being here every time. I wish I could do more, but oh well. All right, man. All right, bruv. So funny, bruv. All right, man. Well, I got nothing. I'm kind of tired today. I'm sorry. It's too bad because my wife is not home. She's at her mom's house right now, so oh well. Oh, happy birthday to Walker Stewart. That guy's done great. 23 years old. What an asshole. I'm just kidding. No, I mean, it's not easy to do what he did, to come in where you got somebody who's established and, you make it your own. Yeah. R.I.P. Steve Mongo McMichael. What a wild man. Yeah, Walker Stewart. I mean, good for him. It's taken a little time. He and I have chatted a little bit from time to time. And, nothing major, but I just think that, I've done some wrestling announcing in my day. Nothing at that level, but, it's hard to come in after someone, Michael Cole, after JR, or at the same time as JR. That's difficult. Tony Schiavone, after Gordon Soley, a lot of different things. So, yeah, look, Mongo may have not been the best wrestler, but I'll tell you what, that angle at the Great American Bash 96 was great. Kevin turning on Kevin Green, and that led to Deborah becoming the beauty queen. She'd say, well, I don't want to gossip, but I heard that da-da-da-da-da. And that was great. That was some good stuff for a while. you know, part of the problem is I think he's broken down a lot from football, so that's hard. I saw him wrestle once live. Was it against Chris Benoit? And you could tell that he was hurting, and you could also tell that maybe he'd had a little bit. Let's see, what's this? WWE commentary is trash. Michael Cole's out of control. Screen series. I think Joe Tessitore is awesome. If I voted in the year-end awards, I know it's a little non-traditional, but I would have voted him my rookie of the year. He's that good, and so I would have done that literally. I think he's great, but look, WWE announcing is talking in sound bites, so they can cut it up for the package, you know. And then it's asking a lot of questions. You know, what is John Cena doing? Where is Montez Ford going? You know, things like that. You know, you talk in sound bites so you can get them for the packages. And, you know, they do a great job. I think Tessitore is great. And look, I respect Michael Cole a great deal. To have to call all those matches in the way Vince wants, with Vince screaming in your ear, while still tossing the packages, instant replay, conversing with your color guy, and just everything he had to do to be the ringleader under intense pressure. I mean, it's hard. Have someone talking in your ear while you're trying to tell a story and they're yelling at you. It's hard. It's very, very hard. So I respect Michael Cole, but yeah, maybe he is a little out of control these days. Yeah, Ospreay. I would think so, but it's like, do they do Hangman Page because it's Texas, even though he's not? He's from Virginia. I don't know, but yeah, I would do Ospreay. I would absolutely do Ospreay. Have him win it, and then, you know, do something else. Oh, by the way, who called it? Last week, what did I say? I said that triple threat match really isn't the main event, but they're going to do a big angle, and it's going to create a faction. And you're going to see that faction either on Saturday, Sunday, or Monday. And we saw it on Monday. Now, I didn't predict the winner because in WWE, really any of those people could have won, and they still could have pulled off the faction. You know, you have Heyman turn on Punk. Maybe then lets Roman win, and then they beat up Roman afterwards or something. It doesn't. Who won the matches? Immaterial. I mean, obviously it makes the most sense that Seth won. And look, he's kind of the architect again. Just like I said. So, anyway. So, there you go. This stuff is not that hard. It's not that hard. But anyway. Yeah, Collision looks like a good show. They're always good shows. You know. Yeah, the FTR. You know, something else AEW is really good at is putting people together who you wouldn't think of, but it works. I never would have thought of Stokely and FTR, but it works. And the other week on Dynamite, when they put together Ospreay and Speedball and Kevin Knight and Mark Briscoe, I was like, that works. Conglomeration, that worked. The Ops, it's working. You know, there is a lot. They do really well at finding things to put together that work. You know, it was Tony's idea for the Acclaimed. That worked big time. So they're really good at doing that. Like, people who are not obvious, they put them together. So, yeah. It works. But AEW is really good at that. Put people together who work. So there you go. All right. Yeah. Yeah, we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens with this. And clearly, he's going to do something. He's there for a reason. You know, he'll help FTR win, or that kind of stuff. So we shall see. Yeah, I mean, it's good. It gives FTR something new to do with a new wrinkle as far as a manager and what he's going to do for them. As far as the new dynamic he brings to matches, and it's going to be hard eventually. And I don't know who's going to do it yet, but it's going to be hard to get the belts off the Hart Syndicate. Do I think Indy Hartwell will go to AEW? I don't know. Who is she friends with? I guess that's the question. Did you guys see the video on, I think it was Reddit, where Indy Hartwell was sitting at her autograph table at WrestleCon, and nobody was there, and there was a huge line to meet Mina Shirakawa. I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I don't know. I mean, it's fine. I mean, she could. I don't know if she's gonna set the world on fire. Do they need her? I mean, I guess. I mean, maybe Ring of Honor. I don't know. I mean, to me, look, and no disrespect to Indy and her career and the bump she's taken, the miles. She's clearly a fan and clearly has worked very hard. But I don't know. She doesn't really stand out much to me. There's a lot of women who are just there, I feel like, not India, Laya Valkyria doesn't do much for me, but maybe with feuding with Becky will bring out the best in her and, prove me wrong, which I'm fine with that. I'm fine with Indy Hartwell coming to AEW and proving me wrong. That'd be great. Mina into the NXT Asuka. I don't think Mina is as good a wrestler as Asuka is. No, you're thinking of Tam Nakano. Tam Nakano was doing it again in Stardom. So, yeah. Yeah, exactly. Right. Yeah. It's a good promo by Cross, but I don't know, he's a guy I thought I'd do better in WWE, but I think he's kind of overshadowed by Drew and by Damian Priest. They're kind of all in the same vein, and it's like, it's hard. It's hard. Yeah, I don't know. I thought he'd do better in WWE, but and now on his level, you've got, Aleister Black, you've got Rusev. I had a friend who was at Raw, and he said that Rusev got a pop, but then it fizzled out fast, and it wasn't what he expected as far as Rusev goes. And I don't know, maybe these guys are now, unfortunately, nostalgia acts. Unless you do something new with them. And if it's if he's just going to do Rusev Day again, that's going to run its course. Same thing with Aleister Black. They need something new to the act to have longevity. Otherwise, they're just guys from 5 years ago or whatever it is, 6 years ago, whatever it was. Yeah, I don't know. I just am not. We shall see. We shall see. What does it say? I really enjoyed Mina, and to be honest, I probably would have fit perfectly in that line for her. The only difference, yeah, that was a pretty stereotypical line of guys. That was like a line of comic book guys. I was like, wow, that is the stereotype right there. I felt attacked, to be honest. But hey, we all love wrestling, so what can you say? It's all one big, smelly, neck-bearded family. Rusev and Black have no kid. Yeah, I agree. I agree with you. I agree with you 100%. Could Danhausen do well in NXT? I mean, yeah, he could. I mean, is he going to be just Danhausen? Or are they going to WWE him? I've always, like I've said this before, I always felt like Danhausen, while he's popular, has not mined enough gold for his character. You know, he should be more like a Svengoolie kind of thing, where you're you're pretending to be scary, but no one is really scared of you. And it should be, talking about, ghosts and goblins, or, whatever he has, something like that. And then trying to use it, and it's ineffectual. He should, if you remember, going way back to SCTV, and when Joe Flaherty played Count Floyd, going back to those old local TV days, where you had a horror host, in somewhere like Elvira or Vampira, and others were like Dracula. You had Count whomever, and everything that he does, it fails to be scary. But he's really into the occult and all of these things, and there's a lot of more comedy I feel to mine with Danhausen more than he does. But yeah, I don't know. Yeah, Danhausen's kind of a bit of a throwback, but I mean, I don't know what WWE would want to do, but he'd get that. Probably take some power bombs or some choke slams and stuff. Yeah. After Drew's promo, they should do WWE deodorant. That'd be a good idea. Yeah. Why not? Why not? Why not? Why not? So. Oh, Dynamite and Glistener in Detroit. Yeah, you might see Danhausen, yeah. He shows up from... I know he works a lot of indies. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what his deal is. But, I don't know. He's had some injuries too, hasn't he? I don't know how durable he is. So, yeah. Oh, Paul is doing just fine. Doing just fine. So, I don't know. I'm happy AEW's on a roll. It's been interesting this week. We haven't seen the trolls as much. I'm sure they're trying to be back, but it feels like AEW has kind of dug itself out of that hole. And we've got to move past them. Oh, there's Sherman. What are you doing, Sherman? Hey, Sherman. Sherman. Come here. Come here, buddy. Come here. Let's say hi to everybody. Here comes Sherman. What are you doing? What are you doing? Come here. Come here, silly boy. Come here. Come here. Come here. Oh. There we go. There's Sherman here. Ready? Ready to say hi to everybody? Come here. There's Sherman. Oh, look at that cute guy. Look at this handsome boy. He's so handsome. Look at him. He's so cute. Oh, aren't you handsome? Yes, you're handsome. Oh, there's Sherman. Oh, look at the good kitty. Such a good kitty. Sherman is my best friend. He missed me when I was gone to my mother-in-law's house. He's been my shadow all this time, huh, buddy? You're a good boy. Yes, Sherman. Look how handsome he is. He's a Norwegian forest cat. We got him in a shelter, so we didn't know that when we got him. But we looked at his pictures, and he kind of looks like one of those cats. You know, you always see the big fat ones in Norway. But, so he's got the furry chest. Show the people your big furry chest, your big crest. Anyway, so he's a Norwegian forest cat. And I think they've only been in America for like 25 years or something. But we looked up the characteristics of a Norwegian forest cat. It's like he likes heights, loves to lick plastic, kind of distant, just other things. But it's funny. One of the things they say is the forest cat will never sit on your lap. And he sits on my lap all day. And we have to remind him, he's not a lap cat. You're not a lap cat, are you? He's like, I don't like this. He doesn't like to be held. But I'm holding him because I don't care. And also, when we got him from the shelter, he was a purple. And purple is the worst disposition. So anytime he's being a brat, we tell him, quit being a purple. But I think he just needed to be in the right environment. I don't think he plays well with others. He needs to have all the attention. He loves all the attention, don't you? Anyway, our vet calls him a cat dog, a cog, because he acts like a dog. He'll come right up to you. Whenever we have friends over, he just sits in the middle, because we joke he's like the Little Mermaid. He likes to be where the people are. So, anyway, there's Sherman. Oh, hang on, you're going to see his tail. Look at his fluffy tail. Look at that big fluffy tail. Oh, buddy. All right, I'll let you down. He's like, I hate this, Jim. Leave me alone. Oh, that's what happened. That's what happened to Sherman. Sherman was left behind. Probably because he wasn't spayed. It was kind of difficult. But he was left behind in the driveway of a pretty rich neighborhood nearby here. And one of the neighbors finally, he was outside for like a month. One of the neighbors finally got him and took him to the shelter. So whenever he's being picky, he won't eat stuff. I'm like, you're pretty picky for a street rat. But he's a good boy. Possibility of other promotions. Oh, listen to purr. Oh, he's purring. I think we're seeing that. It's possible. But I mean, it all depends on how other people see the situation. But I mean, we're kind of seeing that now. But yeah, I mean, will they get closer? I don't know. I mean, one of the things that's hard is, think about in '94 when WWE stars started coming to Memphis. It helped business a little bit, but what happened is when these WWE stars weren't on the card for local towns or whatever, it hurt business because they saw those matches as important and other things not important. So I think you got to be careful with how you do that. You don't want to dilute the individual business of the company, so when CMLL doesn't have other stars on the show, they're still drawing. You gotta be careful about that. Look at Sherman. He's purring. Are you purring, Sherman? Oh, yeah. Yeah, exactly. It could be really bad. It could be bad. Yeah. Yeah. There he is. There's Sherman. Hi, buddy. What are you doing? Hi. He's purring. He's purring. Yes, he's purring. Don't you? You're purring. Yes. Good boy. There he is. All right. All right, buddy. You do need a united front. Yeah, you do. Whoops. Hey, buddy. Hey, how you doing? Hey, everybody. There's Sherman. What are you doing? Oh, my God. He's sitting on the computer. He is on the computer right now, literally. I don't know what you can see. Probably just black. You see me? I don't know what you can see. Where is it? Can you see me in my ear? My ears. Oh, there I am. Okay. So I think you can kind of see me. That's funny. Anyway, what are you doing, buddy? See, he has to be the center of attention. He needs the attention, so he's sitting where I'm looking. I don't need to see anything else. Oh, I'll bet you can't see me now. You can't see me because it's Sherman. Yeah. What a good boy. All right, buddy. All right, buddy. Let's wrap it up. All right. All right, kids. I think I should probably wrap this up, but it's been fun. Oops, I lost it. Crap. Where'd it go? There we go. It's been fun. I will talk to you, I think next week. I'm pretty sure. Anyway, all right. Talk to you later, guys. Thank you for being here. I always appreciate it. I hope it was fun.